Hello and welcome to Yoga with Jonathan. Go ahead and come up onto your mat and have a seat towards the back of the mat. Any comfortable seat will do. You can sit cross-legged or otherwise, but take a moment to settle in and get your sit bones relatively even. Taking a big inhale, maybe a big exhale. A couple times like that, just a few breaths before we get started, just to settle in. And whenever you're ready, you can begin to sit up a little taller. Take your right hand to your chest, your left hand to the lowest part of your belly. From here, we'll engage in our Ujjayi breath by gently constricting the base of your throat, feeling the breath in the throat as we breathe through the nose. Let the inhale fill up the space near the right hand, expanding the chest and the ribs. And let the exhale gently draw in the abdominals at the left hand, just pulling them in with a little strength, but subtle strength. Taking a few breaths here, just establishing this Ujjayi breath. That big expansion of the ribs on each inhale, and that nice controlled engagement of the lower belly on the exhale. We cultivate this breath here as it is this breath that our whole practice revolves around. Today we feel our breath and we move in service of that breath. When you're ready, you can bring your hands onto your knees. And on the inhale, start to lift the chest, expand the ribs, and arch just a little bit. On the exhale, draw in the belly, round back, holding on to the knees, taking a nice round spine here. On the inhale again, lifting your chest, a little arch, but mostly at the upper back as we lengthen the spine tall. And then feeling the exhale at the abdominals, let that press you back and find that hollow feeling. Just moving with your breath in this seated cat-cow. Every time you inhale, feel that inhale expanding, lifting the ribs, opening up the chest from the sternum. And every time that you exhale, just feel the abdominals drawing in, finding that nice hollow shape as even the chin tucks in. Just moving with your breath in this way. You can always move a little slower or a little quicker, but it's most important that we're moving mindfully. Really feeling that Ujjayi breath that we've cultivated here and letting that guide you through the movements. As I feel my ribs expand on the inhale, I lift and open and arch a bit. And as I feel the exhale draw in the lower belly, I let that push me back into the hollow shape. So moving with your own breath here for a while, be mindful of what you're feeling as you go along. How does this feel as I move? Throughout our yoga practice, using every movement, every breath as an opportunity to learn a little something new about yourself, to get to know yourself a little better. And coming to rest from that movement, we can start to make our way into a tabletop position, getting the hands directly under the shoulders, getting your knees just a little bit behind the hips, and making sure that everything lines up, knees and hands and shins are all even on the ground. Feeling the Ujjayi breath here as well, and then whenever you're ready, you can begin to move through that same cat and cow movement here, with the inhale lifting, expanding the chest, little arch to the back, the exhale at the belly, pulling the abdominals in and finding that nice hollow, round Halloween cat shape. Really the same principle we began with, the inhale expanding our ribs, bringing a little bit of that arch, but really focusing on the lengthening of the spine. And every time that we exhale, using that exhale, that draw in of the core, that little bit of strength, to really get that nice hollow feeling and gain a little access to those deep abdominal muscles. Being mindful as you move here that we're keeping our weight relatively even between the two hands, relatively even between the two knees and the shins. Again, just feeling your breath, that Ujjayi breath, and letting it guide you through these two shapes, all the while being mindful. How do I feel in my lower back as I arch? How does my neck feel? How do my abdominals feel? How does my tailbone feel as I round and find that hollow shape? Just a little bit of time here to feel your breath, feel your body move together, and continue that inward exploration. Whenever you're ready, on one of those exhales, you can begin to take yourself back into a downward facing dog for a moment. And then on the inhale, we'll bring the knees back down, lift the chest back up, and find that nice arch and cow pose. And then on the exhale, let's round into our cat pose again. Inhale once again, lifts the chest, slight arch for that cow pose. And then the exhale at the abdominals takes us back into down dog. So just turning this breath and movement cycle into 4 parts. The first inhale brings the knees down, the chest up, finds that classic arch and cow pose. The first exhale rounds the spine, finds our Halloween cat shape once again as the tail tucks. The inhale again, same cow pose as we bring that chest up, we lengthen through the neck and spine. And then the second exhale from the core takes us back into that classic down dog shape. So again, one more time I'll walk you through. Inhale brings the knees down, chest up. Exhale rounds the back, finding that cat shape. Inhale lifts the chest, finds that cow, that little arch as the spine gets longer. And then the exhale takes us back into downward facing dog. As you arrive in that down dog, pause there for a few breaths. The inhale expands the ribs, and the exhale draws in the abdominals. You're welcome to take pauses in your down dog for a few breaths, or you're welcome to continue through this cycle for a little longer. The main thing, again, is to be feeling and present with your body. If in any shape, in any pose, you feel that you need to pause for an extra breath, take that time. Again, our practice is about getting to know yourself here. Eventually, we end up in our downward facing dog where we can take a few breaths there, keeping the knees slightly bent. On the inhale, feel the chest expand and lift towards the chin. On the exhale, feel that tailbone gently lengthening as the abdominals flatten in. Being mindful that our pressure stays even between the 2 hands and the 2 feet point straight ahead, although they're about as wide as the hips. A couple breaths here. When you're ready, on an inhale, you can shift forward into our cow pose, little arch once again, and then as you exhale out those lower abdominals, let it carry you all the way back to a child's pose this time. The hips come to the heels, the head rests on the ground. Now, whether you use child's pose or some other position, let's rest completely for a moment. You just want to surrender into the earth, let go of the arms, the head, the whole body. Without doing anything or trying to hold yourself up, just notice how you feel for a moment here. Relaxing any tension in your face, just resting. relaxing the crown of the head, letting go of everything here. Big inhale, big exhale. One more time, big inhale, big exhale into the earth. Starting from there to make your way up to a seated position and gently bringing your legs out long in front of you. You can give the legs a little wiggle around. I like to give them a little pat and tell them thanks for being such a good sport about all this yoga stuff and carrying me around all the time. From here, we'll move into an active forward fold, taking a moment to make sure that your sit bones again are relatively even on the ground. We'll get both feet pointing straight up and then start to curl the feet back, activating the muscles of your shins. Feel your chest lift as the chin draws in a bit. Feel the sit bones you're sitting on start to slide back a little bit. As we get all these actions, then we can take an inhale, and on the exhale, gently lean forward just a bit. Now we want to try to keep the spine in a straight line for this forward fold. We want to feel the feet actively curling back and being relatively even between the two feet. We want to feel those sit bones as if they're trying to slide back, bringing a little length to the spine, maybe a little activation to the abdominals. Every time that we inhale, the ribs expand, lift as the chin draws gently in. Every time we exhale, we feel those sit bones trying to slide back with just a little bit more energy. The feet curl back, the sit bones slide back, the spine is lifted tall. We feel the stretch and we feel our Ujjayi breath flowing through this shape. Being mindful of our sit bones, and as we feel them pull back, being sure that they're pulling back evenly. Just a couple more breaths. Feeling your spine sit tall and long as you can. And take a big inhale. On an exhale, just flop forward. One more time. Big inhale. Big flopping exhale. On the inhale, slowly sitting all the way back up. Maybe giving the legs another little bit of movement there. But eventually making your way back down onto your back. Gently coming to the back, let's draw the knees into the chest. Really flatten the lower back on the ground. You might even want to roll around a little bit to get a little massage here, but just rest for a moment here. And then whenever you're ready, we can inhale, setting the feet down, lifting your hips up and reaching your arms overhead for a bridge pose. On the exhale, we're going to bring those hips back down, the knees back in, and give them a little squeeze from the hands. Inhale, feet down, butt up, arms up, chest expands. Exhale from the belly, bring it back down, draw the knees in, and flatten that lower back. So the inhale is bridge pose. As we reach up with the arms, we feel that extension through the glutes and the hips. And as you exhale at the belly, we just let our whole body contract back into that nice tight little ball. The inhale brings a sense of expansion. As we lift the hips, we also feel those ribs get really big here. The exhale, as we feel the compression at the belly, we almost feel as if that's the force that's drawing you back into that little tucked position. Now, either way, you can go in a bigger arch or a smaller, but we want to be mindful that we're not using the lower back to arch. Each time we lift our hips, we're paying attention and noticing if we can feel the glutes, the muscles of the butt, really doing the work here as the tailbone lengthens instead of feeling that arch or crush at the lumbar. As always, our yoga practice is a mindful one. So we're going to take a few breaths moving through this here, but notice what you're feeling along the way, allowing yourself to make adjustments. Now, you're welcome to keep moving. You're also welcome to just come into that bridge pose and hold it there. If you're going to keep moving, just enjoy it. If you're going to come into the bridge, bring the arms down. Turn the fingers to point at the ceiling with the elbows on the ground. We're going to press gently into the very top of the shoulders back into the ground. We're going to be, again, making sure that the glutes are doing the lift of the hips and feeling our breath here. Either way, keep the breath at the center of your mind. If you're holding that bridge, feel the tailbone gently lengthening towards the space between your knees. Whenever you're ready to come down, maybe gently putting your hands on the bottom of your hips so that we can make sure that we're lengthening and flattening that lower back the whole way down until you come to rest on the earth. As you arrive there, maybe give yourself an extra breath, a moment, just to kind of chill out and feel how flat and open we can get that lumbar spine and that lower back here. Whenever you're ready, you can begin on an exhale to draw the knees back into the chest again, giving yourself a nice little hug. And again, if you want to roll around a little bit, you can. Eventually, we'll inhale the left arm out to the side and just exhale as we draw those two knees over to the right side for a little twist. Now, as you arrive there, really take the time to arrive. What we want to be doing is breathing, paying attention, and making any little adjustments we can to help ourselves feel a little bit more open and a little better here. What we don't want to be doing is trying to force our body further into a twist. Just find a good twist with a good stretch to it, and then focus on your breath. The inhale expanding the ribs, and the exhale feeling the lower back flatten and maybe just slide back in space a little bit as it opens and relaxes. And when you're ready, you can begin to inhale your knees back up. On the exhale, giving a little squeeze in just to come back to neutral. And then you can inhale your right arm out to the side. On the exhale, we'll take those knees right on over to the left side to get our twist on this other side. Now again, the two sides may feel different, but that's okay because we're just following the basic principle. We're finding that edge, that place where there's a nice stretch, not too much, not too little, not overwhelmed, but not missing the opportunity. And then once you arrive, we just settle in, make any little adjustments, and then continue to focus on your breath. As we focus on that Ujjayi breath, we feel the inhale expand the ribs. We feel the exhale again flattening back through that lower back, through the sacrum area. Letting the breath be the center point of our attention and letting it really help our body to open where it needs to open and to strengthen and lengthen where it needs that. So feel your breath, feel your body for just a little longer here in this twisted position. Softening any tension out of your face. When you're ready, you can inhale and bring the knees back up. On the exhale, squeezing them into the chest once again. From here, our last pose we'll offer will be our happy baby pose by grabbing the outside edges of your feet. You can open your knees and feet nice and wide and maybe smile softly. It is happy baby after all. What we really want to do, what will make your body smile, will be to get the spine nice and long. So we want to feel the back of the neck and the head, the shoulders sort of flattening into the ground, lengthening the upper spine. At the same time, gently pulling on your feet while your feet press into your hands. You can use that leverage to start to lengthen and open your lower spine as well. Essentially just trying to get as long and open of a chain from the back of the head all the way to the tailbone as you can, making that spine feel really great. Take a few breaths, feeling your way into that. Whenever you feel long and open and you are ready, you're welcome to begin to make your way gently down into your Savasana, your final resting position. Whether you let your legs be flat or keep your knees bent, try to keep your lower back and your spine relatively long across the ground. But as you settle in, let yourself really relax and settle in. You've done all the work that needed to be done, now it's time to rest. So let go of any tension out of your face, your jaw, let go of any tension out of your shoulders, your back and hips. Just let yourself have a little rest. Let yourself be still for just a little while. Taking a big inhale, expanding the ribs. Big exhale, relaxing everything. Inhale inflates the whole rib cage. Big exhale softens the whole body. Little bit of movement at the fingers, toes, wrists, and ankles. Eventually taking that good morning stretch, nice long reach, maybe a little yawn as well. When you're ready from there, bending your knees and gently rolling onto your side, we take a moment here to sincerely thank yourself for giving yourself this valuable time and attention here today. When you feel complete with that, you can make your way up to any comfortable seated position once again. As you arrive at that comfortable seat, take a moment to get comfortable, get the sit bones relatively even. But then sitting tall through the spine, soft through the face, and the eyes gently closed. We let go of all other things and just return full attention to your breath. The gentle feeling of that ujjayi breath as it passes through the throat. The inhale bringing its expansion to the ribs as they lift high. And the exhale bringing its subtle strength to the lower belly. Letting go of everything else and just focusing on the breath here. And taking a big inhale, filling up and lifting the ribs. Hold that breath for a moment as you drop your chin. And then a slow exhale from the lowest part of the belly. Holding the breath out, lift the ribs and gently draw those lower abdominals in and just hold that bandha for a moment. When you're ready, inhale reaches the arms over top of your head. On the exhale, bringing the hands back home to your heart. Feel your heart rise up a bit as your head surrenders into your heart. The corners of your mouth may reach up towards your ears. I thank you so much for practicing with me here today, and I thank you for giving yourself this important time and attention. Namaste. This concludes our practice together today. I thank you for practicing yoga with me. If you'd like to sit in quiet meditation after your practice, please enjoy that time now.